The Just for Kicks dance program started in Brainerd, Minnesota about 30 years ago. Since then, it has moved to at least 6 states in the surrounding area. I've been in dance since I was in the 3rd grade, which means that was about 10 years ago. Our normal dance class is just usually jazz dancing, and then this past year we started a hip-hop class. Usually we have 2 competitions every year, one in Waverly and one in Rochester. We also have a winter show, which we usually perform just one song, and then we have a couple basketball games that we perform at, and then we have our spring show, where we perform all the music that we learned. Now I'm going to show you the basics of dance, including the stretches that we do, how to increase your flexibility, and then some of the basic dance moves. Before we start classes, we always like to take our time to stretch. We usually take about 15 minutes to start stretches, and the first thing we do is we like to touch our fingers to the ground, which helps stretch our hamstrings in the back. And we usually hold this for about 10 seconds to get a good stretch in. And then the next thing we like to do is called a hurdler stretch, where you sit on the ground, and then you put one leg in close to your leg right here, and then you reach down as far as you can, and get a good stretch. Another thing our coach likes us to do is touch our elbows to the ground, which stretches our legs even farther. And we like to hold these for about 10 seconds too, and then we'll also do the same thing to the other side, and touch our elbows to the ground, and try to hold this for 10 seconds as well. And then another thing we like to do is called a butterfly stretch, where you get your legs and your feet in as close as you can to your body, and you push down your knees as far as you can to the ground, and we hold that for about 10 seconds too. And then we also stick our feet out here and we pull up our toes to get another stretch in. And then we turn the legs out. And our coach likes us to do we call chest to floor. And we usually stick our hands out, try to touch our ankles, and then lay on the floor. And this really stretches our inner thighs. And then we also do our splits too. And to help us stretch for our splits, we always start in a lunge. And you want to make sure that your front leg is parallel, and you want to make sure that your back leg is bent. And you just want to push down on your knee and make sure that you stretch really well. And then once you're done with that, you switch back and make sure that this knee is straight. And then you want to kiss your knee, what we say to the little girl. And you just want to reach down as far as you can and try to put your nose to your knee. And then we slide into a split. And then we hold these we usually hold them for 30 seconds. Or if we're talking a lot, our coach makes us hold them for longer. And then we'll do the same thing to the other leg. We get down in the lunge, push our knees further, hold that for a little bit, come back, touch your nose to your knee, and then we slide in, and then we hold that for a while. Another thing that we like to do is called an oversplit, and that just helps us make sure that our kicks are high when we're performing. Our coach makes us get out these planks that we like to use, and all you have to do, put your leg on top of here, and then you can see that it stretches a lot farther than just being on the ground. And we like to hold these too. Just do this. And this stretches a lot more than regular stretches. And then when we do our middle splits like this, we like to use the wall just because it stretches it even more. And when we do this, we have to make sure that our butt is always touching the wall. Spread out, touch your legs to this, and then slide down and push yourself back against the wall. Make sure your butt is always touching it, and then just like to hold it here for a little while and make sure you get a good stretch in. Some ways that we like to increase our flexibility is by using this to do our splits, as I showed you in the other video. And then we also like to put our leg up against the wall and make sure that we have a good stretch too. So we always come over here, and we usually just like to use the ledges by the windows, and we just stick our legs up here and make sure that we grab our feet and reach really close to our leg, and then we find it would really help with our kicks. The basic moves that we do in dance start with the toe touch. We do toe touch by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here in dance, you pretty much know that you just count to 8 in everything that you do. So to start out with, we always slap 1, 2, we'll go 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'll show that up to feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then we also like to do something called a leap. We don't usually have to have these in our dances, but our coach just likes to make sure that we know them. We start out over here, and we'll do a what's called a sashay, and it's just like this. And then this also goes to a 8 count too. It'll be 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when you want to do a leap, you want to make sure that you're like this in the air, or try to get as close to it as possible. So then I'll show that to you in full speed. And our coach always likes to make sure that our back leg is always as tight as board, and make sure our front leg is tight too. One of the harder things that we have to learn in dance is called a pirouette. In the lower classes, they just have to do one turn, but in our senior kick, our coach wants us to have a double pirouette, but not much of us can, so we didn't get to put that in our dance this year. But I'll try to explain to you how we do them, and I'll try to show you how we do them. Just a regular pirouette starts out like slapping 1, 2, and then you'll have to put all of your weight on your left foot, as well as making your arms into a backwards L shape, and make sure that your arms are straight. After that, you have to pop up and bring your arms like you're holding a beach ball. And our coach likes to make sure that our legs are always straight and pointed down like this, and make sure that this little area in your foot is right over your knee. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then after that, you want to use your left arm to help you push yourself around and turn in a circle. So I'll show you that up to speed. And then we slap on 7, 8. And then for a double pirouette, this one's a lot harder. I'll try to attempt it, but I'm not promising anything. For that one, we just start out by going straight to this on 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll be stopping. So I'll try to do this one. That was sort of a double pirouette, only you're not supposed to be able to jump into that. The next thing I'll show you is all the different kicks that we are able to do in dance. To start out with, I'll just do a straight kick, and that's just straight in front of you and up as high as you can get. You always want to make sure that your toes are pointed, so sometimes when we're doing our stretches, we have a partner take our toes and make sure that we stretch them and sit on them sometimes. We also do called open kicks, and those are when you face to the side a little bit and you kick up and you want to hit the person next to you in the face. Not literally, but that's what our coach says. And you want to make sure that every time you're kicking, you make sure you look up to the ceiling and have your chin up, and that makes you a higher kick. We also do something called a whippet. That's where you're kicking to the side, and it's like you have some tape on the bottom of your foot that you're trying to get off. That's how our coach helps us figure out how to do it. It's just like that. And then we do something called a noodle kick. We did this in our last dance. You go back and around and back. They're fairly easy, but they're just split tool around and back. And then we have this, it's a sequence of 8 or 16 counts that you can do. They're called kickster kicks. And you start off with pointing back, and then together, and then you kick your right leg, and then you bring up your left leg to a passe, and then you're down, and then you switch, and you go back, together, kick with your left leg, and then bring up your right leg in a passe. So I'll show that to you quickly. And those are called kicksters. And then in my last last dance we also did was called a French kick. And for a French kick, you want to start out straight, and then you bring your leg up straight, and you bend it, and then you kick out, and then at the end of 8 counts, you want to bring your leg back straight. So also that's you and high speed. And at the end, our coach always makes sure that we have to have our legs straight before we snap it back down. After all my 10 years in dance, I've been able to master almost everything, except for maybe my double pirouette. I've loved all my years in dance, and hopefully throughout this video you've got to see a little of what I love to do. Thanks for watching.